Around this time, an old lady told me a story, which went like this. We used to live in the ranch, a little far from the town. There were small houses from poor people scattered throughout. My dad was the only wealthy one. We played there because we did not have anyone else to play with. I had several brothers and sisters. I was the oldest one, followed by my brother Julian. The other ones were very little. In town lived my grandparents, my uncles, and my cousins, essentially the whole family. When my dad got married, my grandparents gave him a house in the ranch. I liked it there at first, but as I got older, I no longer liked being a country girl. I wished to live in town, where everything was within reach. My parents did not. One Christmas night, when I grew older, the town put together a nativity scene in the ranch, and this is what happened. My brother had behaved badly, and my father told him that he would not receive the blessing of the Christmas spirit, and he did not have to wait. Last year, Santa Claus gave him candy, toy soldiers, and a spinning top. He said that if he dared put his shoes on again, he'd receive the same this year. The little boy did not know what to do, because he wanted other things, toys for a 12-year-old boy. He thought on putting my father's shoes instead. He did just that, and went to sleep. The next morning he woke up early thinking of the presents. In the shoes he found a bag of tobacco and a smoking pipe. You should have seen his face when he found those things. He lost everything because he was greedy. Nearby lived a little girl, the neighbor's daughter, named Pascualina. She did not know about the blessing of the Christmas spirit or Santa Claus. Those tales said that someone would give toys to the children that were well behaved. She learned that from us. On Christmas Eve, she came running. She told me that her shoes were old and was afraid Santa Claus would not give her anything. In a basket full of rags, she found a couple of black socks. They were very moth-eaten, and one had more holes than the other. Pascualina sewed them both with a white thread. The black socks were left with white spots. They looked bad, and they were still faded. I told her that Santa would say, "That girl is very naughty. Look at how she destroyed her socks." She hung her socks on the window, with an opening so anyone could leave anything. I told her that Santa Claus would not leave her anything. She started to cry. That made me feel bad, making a poor little girl cry. Desperate, I ran to where my mother was and asked for money. She denied me and scolded me, telling me that those people did not know anything about Santa Claus. Lastly, she told me that Santa Claus never gave anyone anything. That girl's parents were not going to buy her any toys, and I shouldn't bother her anymore. I did not know how to get a present. I walked to the town, even though it was late, to see if I could come up with something. I arrived to the house of my aunt Mercedes, where I found an old doll in the hallway. It was so dirty that my cousin forgot about it. I grabbed it and took it to my house, where I fixed it. I sewed torn parts, I washed it, and I dried it near the campfire. After a while, it looked as good as new. It was 10 o'clock in the night on Christmas Eve. I was happy to put the doll in poor Pascualina's sock, and she was happy to find it. You should have seen it as she knelt, giving thanks, looking over the trees. The party passed, and the people of her neighborhood were envious. They said, "I wonder what they sacrificed to get that doll. Maybe they have a lot of money." Making her think Santa Claus gave her something when neither the spirit of Christmas or Santa Claus remembered the poor. After that day, Pascualina spent more time with us doing chores in the house. People talked more. all they did was whine and swear. I wanted to tell them that it was me, Casimira, that got her a doll and gave it to her in the name of Santa Claus after what happened to my brother. One morning, Catacha, our Cinderella hen, standing in the hallway of the bedroom, began to sing so that we could see her. We did not believe in superstitions, but Mama Bartola, an old lady, did. When she sat down to wash the dishes, she looked like an owl. She had an emaciated face, a long aquiline nose, and her head was tied with a white scarf. Besides that, she was skin and bone. She was the one who said someone was going to die in the house. I said in my mind that she would die. Who else would be, with how ugly she was from pure old age? One day I was busy playing a game when a little girl called Almida came. Dumbfounded, she told me that Pascualina had died. She had fallen into a large ditch around Miss Marcelita's farm. I ran to her house and I found a lot of people there. When I saw her parents, they told me straight to my face that I was the one guilty of the death of Pascualina. "This girl is guilty," I heard all the time. Pascualina had been washing her doll. In one moment she slipped, because there was a lot of water, rain season. She couldn't get out and was struck by the current. 5 blocks ahead she was found, and 1 more block they found the doll. I was so scared with the kill they gave me. I grabbed the doll and ran away. On the road I asked it for Pascualina, without answer. I entered the house, I passed the garden and I began to cry. I told myself, I am to blame for Pascualina's death. I gave her this rag that doesn't speak. What would she think of me? Then, already consoled but not so much, I told Mama Bartola. I wanted her to make me understand what I had done. I wanted her to tell me something that would comfort me. She told me that Pascualina no longer thought of anything, and that she was happy in heaven. I went looking for her, to see if I could find her. I climbed the highest mountains. I was looking for her in the sky and nothing. There I realized what it is to be nothing. So, I grabbed the doll. I blamed it loudly. I took it to the garden where I cried and burned it. I burned it with anger and sorrow. I threw her ashes into the river, and I came back without crying, almost happy. I don't know why. Upon entering the house, Mama Bartola was dead. She was sitting in the backyard with her eyes open, looking at the sky, as if she was looking at Pascualina.